Hi everybody, I am Jere Barber, and I am doing my project on the Bellevue Farms Orchard area, which we consider Zone 3. So just to...
The moving.
It's not moving.
Maybe because we put it on the fancy schmancy.
There we go. So just click.
So you don't have to click.
Okay, cool.
I don't know why to do that.
So just an introduction, Bellevue Farms is an agricultural program in the Bellevue Community Center here in North Wilmington. It was established in 2014 to address the need and provide increasing awareness of healthy eating. Bellevue Farms' mission is to increase access to fresh, locally grown food and to help build an equitable and sustainable food system. We build community through our annual events, seasonal farmers markets, community garden, and our strong community partnerships. Our garden and nutrition-based education provided to youth from pre-K to teens teaches healthy lifestyle decision-making, entrepreneurship, environmental stewardship, and community building. So one of the pictures didn't show up, but imagine this is a bee condo within our pollinator garden. This is part of the pollinator garden and our composting area. So Bellevue Farms already incorporates a lot of permaculture elements within the system. We have a hoop house where we can grow year long, and we also use that for education so that the youth are able to grow and harvest and sample food that they grow. We have a bird bath, and someone, I can't remember who it was, someone here had suggested that we put rocks inside. Was that you, Kalina? Mm-hmm. And I did that, and the bees are loving it. So thank you for that suggestion, because after you had mentioned that, I found a dead bee in the water. So I immediately put a couple of rocks in there, and now that has eliminated that problem. We also have water lines that are used by not only the farm for growing food, but also by our community gardeners. And here in the background is one of our community gardener beds. This is our farm stand. Every Friday during the season, we have a farmer's market where we will raise that up and service our community with the food that we grow in our farm area. Additional elements are our rainwater harvesting system, a fire pit with seating, our bee boxes, where we house a couple of families of honeybees, and our community seed library, where we put seed there, but we also encourage our community to input seed and take seed. We also have some things like toothpaste, toiletries, feminine sanitary napkins, so that people in the community who are unable to obtain those things at the moment for whatever reason has a free resource for that. My project is focusing on the fruit tree area, where we have several fruit trees. We have peaches, plums, pears, and apples. So the primary goal today is to create a polyculture guild for the fruit trees in the Bellevue Farms orchard area. So the columbine is a weed suppressor, so we would plant them in various areas around the different trees. There's also comfrey, which is a mulcher and a nitrogen fixer. So with comfrey, as it grows, you can just chop and drop and incorporate it into the soil, which will help rebuild the soil up top. And their roots go really deep so that they pull the nutrients from the earth, and they also contribute to the system where the tree roots talk and speak to one another. The keystone tree currently in the garden is our plum tree, and the pear trees are in the same family as the plum tree, so they talk to each other very easily. And part of the guild would be to include elderberry, which we do not currently have. And elderberry is also a medicinal plant in addition to the comfrey, so that not only are we adding more layers to the area, but we're also adding medicinal plants that can be used by humans. The sweet alyssum is a repeller, so we do have an issue with deer coming into the space. So having sweet alyssum growing throughout the area will kind of prevent them from staying. They'll just, pass us on by. And these are just samples of what they look like. We actually grow comfrey in our pollinator garden currently, so it wouldn't be too much of an issue of transplanting it over into our orchard area. And I just put that we're creating guilds in the orchard to protect the trees, grow soil, and to establish boundaries. In addition to some of the plants for establishing the boundaries, we would like to incorporate a canopy of hazelnut, which also provides nuts that we can eat, and microclover as a ground cover. The benefits of creating a guild is to grow soil and supercharge the trees, and to supply complex protection and support for the current biodiversity. The maintenance and care would be to establish boundaries on who maintains the space. So currently, this space is open, so our community has access to the space, and the powers that be at Bellevue Community Center feels as if they wanted to constantly be manicured and maintenance. So because of that, they have landscapers that come in and they use lawnmowers and weed whackers, which are harming the trees. So by putting in some of these border plants, it creates a space to where they are unable to get to that area. In addition to just adding the plants, we want to also include signage similar to the signage that we have in our pollinator garden that lets less knowledgeable staff, landscapers, from damaging any part of the guild, and to give them a little information on what these plants are, their uses, and why they should not be weed whacking them. And I just put in a quote from Herman Hess from the Natural Resources Journal Trees from spring 1980. I actually didn't read the National Resources Journal. I found this in our permaculture book. But it stuck with me after I read it a while ago. And it says, "Nothing is holier, nothing is more exemplary than a beautiful, strong tree." So if anybody knows me, I love trees. I've been a tree hugger ever since I was a little kid. I climb trees even to this day. So this resonated with me. So in summary, Bellevue Farms has been designed according to permaculture principles. Most of the growing space is utilized for growing pesticide-free food to feed the community. A guild is a community of plants and animals, so by incorporating this design, we'll continue to foster our dedication to environmental stewardship. Protecting the fruit trees are not only beneficial to the people, but it also allows for the trees and surrounding plants to become stronger. With stronger trees, plants, animals, and insects benefit by having food, shelter, and protection from illness and predators. So, thanks for coming to my final project talk.
Hey. So what, outstanding again. What questions do any of you have, including Mark?
Question time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering, with the seed library concept, you had a picture that was kind of like those, those little book library type of things.
Yes.
Is that what you were thinking to do with the seeds?
Yes, that's what we actually have that up, and we have several seeds, just like you would go into a book library. We have them labeled and marked with the dates, where they come from. We encourage that our community only put native plants or native seeds into the seed library, and we also stock the seed library with native seeds.
Awesome. Well, the only thing I would say is with seed saving, kind of one of the rules of thumb is the idea to keep the combination of temperature and humidity less than 100 in order to keep the seeds viable as long as possible. So that location may be a little bit challenging, being outside and not climate controlled. And one way you might get around that, since at least as a door, is to use some of those like silica packets or something, something that will keep it a little drier in there, or that damp rid stuff or something like that. But that might be just something to consider around storage.
That's a great idea. I appreciate that. Because it is a sunny area, so we do receive a lot of sun in that area. So having humidity control is important for that particular purpose. So thank you. I'll do that.
Yeah.
You guys have
All in
any?
all, great presentation. Thank you so much. Very inspiring.
Any other comments and tips? Because I do incorporate them.
Okay, let's give her another round of applause. Awesome. Awesomeness.